Hello YouTube. So today I thought I would do a quick video on how I get data on and off my old computers to my new computer. So here we have my LC475. I've got several options on how to get data on and off. Floppy, SCSI, zip. This is just a CD reader, so I can only get data on it via CD. And luckily this drive will read these burned CDs. And there's also Ethernet on the back. So I was watching the Basement's video just lately, or his latest video, and he was struggling to get some data off his old machines. Now, I'm not going to say that this solution is going to work for everyone, but it does give me a variety of different options. The one other way is Blue SCSI. So this is a relatively new addition to the family. This is SD card reader, or SD card hard drive replacement. So there's the 50 pins there, and that will go inside and replace the hard drive. Now, I booted it off the hard drive because I wanted to show you this. I've only got one of them. But basically you create a disk image and you can install macOS and run it, and it replaces the hard drive. So there's a whine going on at the moment, that's the hard drive inside here. With this it's virtually silent apart from the case fan. So I've also got an iBook G3 here. This is the 500 megahertz iBook G3. So we've got funky things like Firewire, but we've also got Ethernet, and this one came ready for Airport, which is Apple's wireless network connectivity. So I've put an Airport card in there. The problem with that is the encryption methods that's used by my router are too new and this doesn't support it. However, I've got an old Airport base station. It's the second generation, so it's not the grey one, it's the white one, and that's plugged in, and that gives me a secondary network. It uses web encryption, which isn't brilliant, but it allows me to connect my iBook G3 to the internet or to any of my machines on the network, provided that it supports the protocols that are being advertised. So if I want to get data off here to here, or from here to here, again I've got several options. I've got a USB floppy drive just here, and this allows me to write bootable floppy disks for my old machines, and it also allows me to create disk images. So I've also got here a boxed copy of SimCity. It comes on 2 floppy disks. Now, these disks are from 1993, it's 2021 now, so I don't want to be using these disks very often because I don't want to damage them or wear them out. So with the USB floppy, I can plug that into my iBook G3, and in disk copy in macOS 9, I can make disk images, and then I can transfer those disk images over to the old machine. And then finally, for things that are larger than 1.44 megabytes, I've got a USB zip drive. So it looks identical, but on the back we have USB, and on the back of this one we have SCSI. So this will read the 100 meg zip disks. This isn't a newer model, so these are both zip 100s. So that will read the 100 meg disks. Now I could, in theory, plug this via a cable, a dongle, into my MacBook Pro, but the problem that we've then got is the format of these disks. The later versions of macOS 10, or macOS as it's now called, don't support the reading and writing of HFS standard, which is what the hard drive is formatted with in this machine. So if I put this into my MacBook Pro, then basically it can't read it. So I have another option. I can copy some data over to a file server that I have. I have a Intel Mac Mini that's running macOS 10 Leopard, and that allows me to connect from my old machines, so from the LC475 or the iBook, to a share, and then I can copy the files over that way to the share, and then from my MacBook Pro I can then connect through the Finder to the share and copy the data off that way. So I've got quite a few options, so I thought I'd just show you a few. At the moment I've only got one SCSI cable for the zip drive, so although it says it's powered on, it's not actually connected to the LC475 at the moment. I need to get I think it's a 25 pin to Centronics cable, because the back of the zip drive has the 25 pins on, but the back of the Apple CD-150 has Centronics on, and that's that big, weird, massive cable, or adapter connector, I should say. So with SCSI, unfortunately, it's not hot swappable like USB, so I could plug and unplug the zip drive into my MacBook Pro or my iBook, and it doesn't really matter. With the old machines, because it's SCSI, I'll need to shut the machine down, I'll swap the cable over, and then I'll be able to use the zip drive on the LC475 once we've booted it back up again. So let's have a quick look. Let's just put these to one side. So this LC475 is running macOS 8.1, and that may be important because I was doing some playing yesterday, and when I opened the chooser, whoops, it would help if I opened the chooser. So I have Apple Share, but I also have the option to enter a server IP address. Oh dear. Okay, well normally, let's try again. Okay, so it's having some problems. But I have been playing with some extensions because I was having, if I don't have the Ethernet cable connected to the LC, you get the wallpaper loads, but the hard drive icons and the control strip don't load, and it sits there for about a minute and a half. So I was fiddling. I've obviously turned something off that I need. Actually, I need that one. Let's just have a quick look through the extensions, see if I can figure out what I've broken. Well, let's just turn everything on that I turned off. So things like the printer extensions. I don't have a printer connected to this machine, so I didn't see the point in having these extensions loaded on startup. Is that everything, I think? Okay, well, we'll see what happens. So while it's doing that, the Caddy CD holder, on my MacBook Pro I can burn these discs using, I use an application called Burn, Now it will burn by default HFS Plus disks, which isn't a problem for macOS 8.1 because macOS 8.1 introduced the support for HFS Plus volumes. However, I found that there is an option in Burn just to burn a HFS CD, so you can do that. Luckily, when I put them into here, this CD-ROM 50 will actually read these, so I can make an image on my MacBook Pro, get all the software on that I want, and then I can burn it to CD and pop it in here, and it should just read it. Now, one of these is an audio CD that I was using the other day, so I don't remember which one it was because I didn't write on stupidly. And I have, two of these, so that's quite handy. The floppy disks I can write with my iBook, but I had to find a special version, or it was a beta version of disk copy, because by default it wouldn't see the USB floppy drive. So I had the disk images, but I couldn't do anything with them. I'm having to enter the IP address here because the file server, my Intel iMac, what is it? Mac Mini. It's running macOS 10.5.8, and it does do Apple Talk, but it's not classic Apple Talk, so it won't show up in the list of file servers. So I have to put in the IP address. It's not doing what I wanted it to. It should give me the option for the username and password. No, it's not happy. Okay, well, you'll have to believe me that we can transfer files over Ethernet. I've obviously messed up something in the install, so let's put a CD in and see what happens. Yeah, so that's my audio CD, so let's eject that. So this is some software that I was using for the install of my LC. So I've got wallpapers. That's how I got the original wallpapers on here. And I have things like the latest version of Disk Copy, Doom that doesn't play very well, QuickTime, SimCity, Suffit, Tone Viewer, those kind of things, just useful utilities, and Internet Explorer. So actually, if I go back into that, does it give me? Yeah, so we've got a modified date of the 14th of January 2021. So we know that this CD isn't one that was just in a cupboard somewhere, it's freshly burned. So let's eject that. So we put a floppy disk in. So there's nothing on this disk, it's PC formatted, but if we wanted to, there we are, we have the text clipping on the floppy disk. So that's two ways of getting data on and off the LC. So let's turn it off. And let's swap the SCSI cable over. So on this disc we have that text clipping, and this zip disc I've no idea what's on it. So there we go. So we have some pictures on here because I think I was playing with this on my iBook. It's not the fact that the disc is slow, it's these pictures are, I think, 1080p, so it may take the poor little 25 megahertz LC 68 LC 040 a moment to open it. There we are. So that doesn't look too bad actually. So I have 1 megabyte of VRAM in here, and I'm running 832 by 624, which gives me thousands of colours. So that doesn't look terrible. Let me try another one. These were just from Bing. These were the Bing of the image of the day from Bing. Not that I use it very much, but it was just quite easy just to go on there and find a picture. They don't look too bad. I'm quite surprised. The difference between thousands and 256 colours. So yeah, there's a zip disk. So let's put something on it so we can have a look on. Actually, let's go to my folder and let's copy some holiday pictures here. Let's find a good picture to look at. One infinite loop, here we are. So this was on our last trip to America. We went to California and I went to Apple's headquarters. Oh. There I am, Apple One Infinite Loop. You can see the dithering here in the blues, but it's quite decent. So I'm not going to open up any of the other pictures because that took forever. Yeah, that one. Okay, this is 132K, so let's see how quickly that opens. This was probably a bad idea. No, not too bad. There I am, Golden Gate Bridge. So, let us copy some pictures over to the zip drive. Eight meg. There we go, so we have some data. And I'm going to eject the zip disk. So we've seen CD, floppy, zip. Unfortunately not networking, although we should be able to go to the blue SCSI does actually make quite a lot of difference in opening apps because this is busy churning away. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but it's probably about the equivalent, same speed of the SCSI hard drive. About 1 or 2 megabytes a second, so it's not terrible. So let us go to Mac84's website. So you could go to Macintosh Garden or another website to go and download some software. The problem is, for these machines, it's quite heavy and quite slow, so I don't recommend that. You could do it at a push. You could install Fetch or something and do FTP. I know my friend Retro Wolf does that, so you have that option again. So I'm going to turn the RC475 off and I'm going to switch over to the iBook. I need to steal a power cable. What's that side? So let us just quickly rearrange. So this machine, I have another option. On the side, we have a CD-ROM. Other models did come with CD burners, and I believe one of them may have come with a DVD, perhaps later versions, not this particular one. So if I want to install macOS 10 on here, the problem I've got is Tiger, for example, comes on 4 CDs or DVD. Well, I don't have a DVD drive, but because it has Firewire, I have this. So this is a Firewire LaCie external DVD CD burner. And I'm not going to plug this in because there's too many cables already. So basically, plug that in and it gives me the ability to boot and install from a DVD, and also writes CDs. So here we are. Let me get my floppy disk. Let me pick up my floppy that I wrote some data on. And here's my text clipping. Just says hello world on. So we can delete that now. Or we can try and copy over. Let's have a look. What have we got in here? How big is that one? How big is that one? Okay, so not terrible, but you wouldn't want to be doing that all day. Right, let's eject the floppy disk. Now this doesn't have the auto eject mechanism, so it tells you that you have to press the button yourself. So there's that floppy disk. So plug, unplug, don't have to worry about plugging it in when the machine is turned on. So next we have zip drive. Now this isn't bus powered, unfortunately, so it means that I need to borrow the power from that zip drive. USB insert correctly on third attempt. So this should have those pictures on from my holiday. And there we are. So let's just quickly try opening up that one infinite loop, see how quick it is. Yeah, look, 500 megahertz versus 25. And this is in millions of colours, so there's no dithering or anything silly in the sky. But San Francisco, yep, nice and quick. Meteor crater. Oh, we've got the same t-shirt on. So we can close that, and if I go to here, I'm going to go to my pictures, and I think I already have them. Yeah, I've already got them. But let's just see how fast it is copying the pictures off the zip disk. So remember, it was 8.8 meg. There we go. Okie dokie. So let's eject the zip. I might be able to show you networking. So I have no Ethernet cables plugged in currently, but I have Airport, and I'm connected to my RetroNet. So if I go to the chooser now and go to Apple Share, I don't see a server listed, but and if I put the right IP address in, that would help. 192.168.0.149. There we go. Okie dokie. So I have a folder on my Mac Mini called software. It's in the root of the hard drive. I have a classic folder with some software on. I've got 68K for my 68K machine. So a lot of these I actually I burned to CD, and then anything that was a bit bigger. So I have the full Office package, which was too big. And I've also got Photoshop, which is a CD image. So those kind of things I can open up over the network, and I can do installs and things like that. So yeah, so we've got some PowerPC installer stuff there, and I've got some screenshots. So this is probably macOS. Yeah, so this is a screenshot of the Mac Mini that I took after I upgraded the processor. Yeah, so I was fiddling around taking some screenshots. So that's on the Mac Mini. So if I wanted to copy over some data, for example, if I wanted to copy over my pictures folder, because I want to use that on my other machines. So that's 55 meg. That's going over the airwaves to the Mac Mini that's over there. While it's doing that, so here's my MacBook Pro. It's a 2017 13-inch non-touch bar, because the touch bar is evil. And what I can do is I can click go, connect to server, and then I can connect to the same IP address. Here's the list of volumes, and if we go back to screenshots, there's that same screenshot that we just looked at. Activity monitor, target, there we are. So there's another screenshot of the disk utility. So that's busy copying over pictures. So it's doing the wallpaper at the moment. If I go to Holiday Pictures America, let's go to One Infinite Loop again. There we are. So I can also, if I wanted, let's have a quick look at zip drive image. Let us, so there's a picture of a zip drive. We'll just save that to the desktop. We'll go back to pictures. I'll copy that over there. I have to wait a moment for the pictures folder to arrive. There we are. So there's the zip drive picture when it loads that I've just taken from Wikipedia. So that's using my my Mac Mini as a bridge. So if we go to the Mac Mini, actually, I've got Apple Remote Desktop here. There we go, there's the Mac Mini. That's just happily sat there, connected directly to the router. There's no keyboard, there's no mouse, there's no monitor plugged into it. It's got a 120 gig SSD. I upgraded the memory from 512 to 2 gig, which is more than enough. If I open up Activity Monitor, because it's literally just used as a file server, the memory usage is so low. So we currently have, let's quit Safari and let's quit Terminal, because I don't normally have those open. There's normally about 1.2, 1.3 gigabytes free. So I've obviously been doing something because it's using quite a bit of memory. I don't know what this blue demon is there, but anyway, yeah, so with that, and I shall close that. That's one of the faster ways of getting data on and off the machines. Now this does have Ethernet on as well, so I could plug in the Ethernet cable that's plugged into the LC and transfer files a little bit quicker than Airport, because Airport, it gives me about, I think it was 12 megabits per second, so it's not particularly fast. So yeah, that was basically how I get data on and off. Just quickly, I want to show you how I archive my floppies. So I'm going to open up Disk Copy. I think it was this one, or was it the 4? I copied multiple ones over. I think it was this one. Yeah, so the option to make a floppy, it didn't see the floppy disk, the external USB floppy disk. So the later versions, the beta versions, I had to download those to be able to make, or for it to see the floppy drive. If I want to make a disk image, I can use just normal disk copy. So this is disk copy 6.3.3. And we can say image, create image from disk. Which disk? That one there. Choose. Where do you want to save it? I'm going to stick it just on the desktop. I generally don't play around with the options, other than changing it to read-write, just in case the installer wants to write back to the disk for whatever reason. So save. So that will go away, and that will give me a fresh disk image of my floppy drives, and then floppy disks, and then I can use those disk images rather than the actual media, because I don't want them to die. So I think I've already done these. I think I've copied them over to the LC. The one problem with a USB floppy drive is it doesn't read anything lower than 1.4 meg floppies. So I don't think you can put an 800K in, or even a 720, or even the lower density disks. So you might want to look out for that. So eject all of those. There we go. So that's how I get data on and off my old machines. Thanks for watching. Hope you found it useful. I hope there's something in there that you might be able to apply to your setup, or if there's anything in there that I've missed, then by all means let me know. I'm always keen to learn more. Yeah, so thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.